Match week for Blackburn Rovers over in the Championship as they take on Portsmouth over at Ewood Park. Of course, this game was delayed earlier in the season, but now it's a chance to play catch-up. Can we get over the line and get the 3 points? We'll talk about that and much more next. That's right, folks, back once again with another video. Today is all about Blackburn Rovers taking on Portsmouth, coming at you at Ewood Park. We'll get to that in a second. If you knew where you've been, smash your subscribe button. You want to stop shop for Blackburn Rovers, World Football Championship. We got it all here under one roof. Of course, game was postponed a couple weeks, maybe month back or so. But now it's, of course, a chance for both Rovers and Portsmouth to pick up a valuable 3 points in both of these clubs' quest. Rovers, of course, quest to remain in the mixer for playoffs. Meanwhile, Portsmouth trying to keep themselves in the division. That's right. We'll take a look at all of that and more in a second. If you knew where you've been, subscribe. Of course, big shout out to the members. Big shout out to the patrons. You know who you are. Now, what we're going to do now is, of course, preview the game, but I want to give you a bit of a spoiler or heads up here. I am recording this ahead of the weekend's games over at in the FA Cup because I'm going to be on the road here. So I don't think I'll get time to record this on Sunday/Monday. So recording it now. The form, things, stuff goes out the window. So just please bear with me while we talk about this one then, shall we? Here we go. Of course, Portsmouth, the visitors here, up against Rovers at Ewood Park. Now, our record in this match is not too shabby here, guys. We played each other 21 times since 1999. 13 wins, Rovers, 4 wins. Portsmouth, there's been 4 draws between the two sides. And both sides come into this in pretty shitty form. When I say that, they're both on 33% form. You can look at it 2 different ways. Of course, Portsmouth have won quite recently, of course, a couple of games back there. Rovers, though, without a win in the last 5. We are 7th, 39 points for the campaign, up against Portsmouth, who are 21st, with 23 points for the season. We do have a 3-0 win, as do Portsmouth on our record in those last 21 matches. We've scored 35 goals compared to the 21, which averages 1.67 goals a game compared to the 1 by Portsmouth. Let's take a look at those games, or the recent ones anyway. This is the last 6, both home and away, whether it's at Ewood or Fratton Park. And it is a good record for Rovers, just 1 defeat in the last 6, with the most recent match being at this, the most recent match being at Fratton Park back in League One, where, of course, the likes of Adam Armstrong scored for Rovers, Connor Chapman scored for Portsmouth, and a Travis red card. I don't think that's going to be happening because he's bloody injured, isn't he? The last 6, though, at Ewood is also a little stronger. We've actually won 1, 2, 3 on the spin against them, conceding just the 1 goal in the last 3. By that 2017-2018 season, you do have to go a long way back since the last time we played, with the likes of Jason Roberts, Ryan Nelson scoring there. But of course, we were familiar opponents back in the Premier League, back in those days. But it's a fixture list that ranks high on my wish list, of course, because I do like Portsmouth, but I just want them to lose this game. That's right. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the last 10, and as you can see, 2 defeats on our resume against Portsmouth, stretching all the way back to 2007, 3-2 win at Fratton Park and a 1-0 win at Ewood. So pretty good. If you want to open up the floodgates here and take a look at the last, 58, Rovers have won 31 of them. Portsmouth just 16. There's been 11 draws. We scored 95 goals compared to their 70. So do the calculator on that bad boy. Anyway, let's take a look at the valuations of the squad here. We have now, this, of course, for the past few games, we've seen a lot of squads more valuable than Rovers. Now, for once, we are the most expensive compared to the opposition here. We are 47 million euros rated as of right now, 20 million euros for Portsmouth, which averages around about 614 grand for a Portsmouth player compared to our 1.75. They have a slightly younger squad to us. We have more national team players. They have more youth national team players, and they have more foreigners to us as of right now. Take a look at the coaches then, shall we? I don't know if they've managed against each other because I am recording this ahead of time. I haven't got that data in front of me, but we do have the points per match ratio, and Mousinho still rocking a 1.69 despite their woeful form position compared to Eustace 1.49. Again, he is Eustace is what we're looking at, 7 years senior to that of John Mousinho, who is a very, very young coach, an exciting coach as well. What about the most valuable players? Well, let's take a look at it then. Tyree Stone is still ranked around about 5 million euro, of course, likely to be leaving. There was talk of a swap deal between him and Ryan Brewster. I don't know if that's something I would entertain if I was making the calls, but it may just be Twitter chat. Who knows? Meanwhile, Portsmouth's most valuable player is Rob Atkinson, who is a centre-back, left-footed, pretty tidy, something I think we could do with at the club at the moment. Let's take a look at the squads then, shall we? Starting with, of course, the host, which is Blackburn Rovers. Of course, we did see, or I'm expecting to see, Blasterstoff in between the sticks in the FA Cup. Again, I'm recording this before FA Cup, so we might have had a stinker. We might not touch him again ever. Or he might be fucking amazing, and then he might say, hey, you know what? Maybe he scores 6 goals against Middlesbrough in the Cup, and then he plays because he's fucking brilliant. But I don't know, because I'm recording this ahead of time. Likely, it'll be Ainsley Pears between the sticks, and then it'll be reverting back to what has been the back four of late, which would be Owen Beck, Callum Britton, Danny Bart, and Dom Hyam. Again, other faces are expected to feature in that FA Cup game, which could boost their chances to play in this match. Into midfield, we've got the likes of Tronstad. Travis is out. Baker has been recalled, so realistically, I should put a big fat fucking pen on this bad boy. He's gone, guys. He's gone. He's gone. Oh no, he's gone out of here. So he's no more. Campwell, Sigurdsson might also be leaving as well. There's a bit of a shake-up going on with the squad right now. It's unpleasant. As a Rovers fan, we're leaving here in news that Harry Leonard could be on his way out on loan, which even weakens our forward line even further. So really, I have no idea what's going on with the squad right now. But I feel at the minute we are getting players back. Garrett come back off a loan, and matey boy Callum O'Riordan came back. Connor O'Riordan came back, sorry. So, a couple players in, but the likes of Leonard going out, Lewis Baker being recalled. I feel we are much weaker at the moment. So, I would like to see some investment or some additions to the squad with the likes of Harry Leonard going out on loan. Maybe some other players might go out on loan as well. But we've got holes to fill here, guys. So, we need to strengthen it. Otherwise, we could drift off dramatically. Meanwhile, speaking of drifting off, this is my team. We've got pairs between 6, Britton, Bath, Hyam and Beck. Tronstad, JRC gets in there. I just think he's a better fit for this team than the likes of a Buckley or, and I don't want to ruin the potential of Jake Garrett going out on loan. If Jake Garrett puts on the blue and white shirt against Middlesbrough in the Cup, that's him fucked. He can't go on loan. He'll be stuck with us. So that's huge. That's huge. I would have put him in the squad or my predicted 11 for that game if that's the case. But I do think they'll try and orchestrate another loan for the guy. And of course, that means we'll bring in another midfield general of some capacity. But regardless, I'm putting JRC in there. Dolan, Campbell, Cozier, Dewberry, and Magda Gay, again, would get up top because he's the best we've got that's fit at the moment. Let's take a look at our opposition, though. It is Portsmouth. I think the likes of Nicholas Schmidt there, Jordan Archer, familiar name, formerly of Millwall. At the back, they got Tom McIntyre, good defender they picked up from Reading. Jordan Williams on there. Who else they got in there? They got Regan Poole, a player we were linked with, formerly of Lincoln. Look at my ball fucking knowledge, guys. Unbelievable. Into midfield, they've got veterans like Matt Ritchie in there, Josh Murphy. Callum Lang's been scoring goals for fun. Andrew Dazelle, a player we were linked with in the Mowbray years. And then up top, they got the likes of Colby Bishop, who's been scoring quite good numbers in recent games as well. So they ain't no slouches, guys. They ain't no slouches. And I think if we played them when this game originally was scheduled, I think we would have lost. I'm not going to lie to you, because they were on a good bit of form. Colby Bishop had just come back and he scored against Preston or something. So I think it's kind of steadied a little bit. And I'm not saying we're going to win this game, but I think the timing is more suited to a Rovers victory at the moment. And of course, we need something like this to hopefully get us back on track. Let's take a look at my 11 then. We've got Schmidt between the 6, Swanson, Pack, Towler, Ogilvy, Potts, Dazelle, Murphy, Lang, Lane, and Colby Bishop up top. Of course, take a look at the key players then, shall we? I don't know if I should have done this beforehand, but we'll talk about it anyway. Pairs remains 7.14, top of the box right there, with Danny Barton second, and then Todd Campbell in third. As for West Ham, Portsmouth, there we go. Freddie Potts 7.04, Josh Murphy with 7.2, Nicholas Schmidt up there in bronze with 6.96. The goals, though, they're outshadowing us in the goal department, specifically the likes of Callum Lang, who's chipped in with a handful of goals already. Josh Murphy's been a handful. This is, of course, goals and assists combined. It's goal, contributions. That's what this is. Back to Gay up there with 7 for us. Again, not goals. It's more 6 assists, 1 goal for him. Yuki as well with 5 goal contributions as well. Let's take a look at the stats then, shall we? Of course, Rovers are dipping down here, but still ranked 7th in the top 20, in the 24 in the division, with 6.92 average. We've played 25 games. Did I update this? No, this is right. Averaging 1.1 goals a game. What are we looking at here? Goals conceded, 23. Against Portsmouth here, they got 6.77. They are ranked 23rd out of the 24 clubs in this division. And they've played 1 game less than us. They've had 2 postponements. I think Millwall was the other one. They've scored 30 goals. They're overshadowing us. Despite struggling, they're scoring more goals than us, but they're conceding a lot more, 41 as well, for them at the moment, averaging 1.3 goals per match. As we dig a little deeper, we average more possession than they do, 46.8. Compared to their 42.1. Clean sheets 10 to their 5. And if we go a little bit further, the duels here, we are better in the combatively, is that the right word? 50.7% of the duels won by Rovers compared to 49.3 for Portsmouth. In the air, though, they are better in the air than we are. They've had just the 1 red card compared to our 2. So this is probably a game you would consider in similar sort of vein of that of Hull. And guess what, folks? We lost that game. We were there. We were on this kind of situation that Portsmouth find themselves last season, where every game counts. Even it is January still, very early days. Every point counts, and despite, I think Portsmouth will look at this and think, there's something to be had here. There is a point or more to be had. We are vulnerable. I think we are very vulnerable right now, and we are desperate to get a win, get back to win, especially at Ewood. We'll show you that in a minute. Let's take a look at what are we looking at here? We are looking at Portsmouth for whatever reason. I don't even know. Okay, there we go. That's more like it. Let's take a look at Rovers then, possession-wise. When they are in possession, more often than not, they're coming down the right down the left. And of course, when in possession, they are 32% of the time in their own defensive third. As for Portsmouth, 35% down the right, 40% down the left. They prefer the left to the right. And of course, more often than not, are in the opposition third than they are in their own defensive third. As for shots, Rovers prefer to shoot down the right than the left, and 58% of the shots are within the 18-yard box. As for Portsmouth, they prefer to shoot from the left, and 54% of their shots are in the 18-yard box as well. Shots received, though, Rovers more often than not coming out, they're receiving shots from the left 20% of the time, and 35% are the long-range bad boys. Similar to that of Portsmouth, 17% of their shots are coming down the left, and 31% are long-range cookies. Goals, as for the goals here, Rovers scored 18 goals through open play, 5 set pieces, 3 counter-attacks, 1 penalty and 1 OG. As for Portsmouth, they've scored 17 through open play, 8 set pieces. That's a big, scary fact. So if they're going to win this game, it's probably down that avenue. So please beware of corners, free kicks, set pieces. I know Mr. Pack is pretty good at stuff like that. I think, he's got tools in his locker. 3 penalties, 1 counter-attack and 1 OG. As for goals conceded, 15 goals conceded for open play, 5 set pieces, 3 penalties for Rovers, compared to Portsmouth, 19 goals conceded for open play, 8 set pieces, and maybe an avenue for Rovers to exploit, 6 counter-attacks, 4 penalties given away, and 4 OG. So maybe, just maybe, a Tyree Stoner or a Dewberry or something like that to cause some problems in the box. A quick look at the rub of the green for Blackburn Rovers coming at you right here, right now. Again, I am recording this ahead of the Middlesbrough game, so please bear that in mind. Could be a win for Rovers, it could be a defeat for Rovers, or it could be an embarrassment for who knows. But anyway, prior to that, we did lose to Burnley, not great, but we did pick up a cheeky draw against Leeds. But realistically, we haven't scored in back-to-back games at Ewood Park, and they're both back-to-back defeats. So concerning for Rovers coming at you in this match. Of course, following on from this game against Portsmouth, we are going to be taking on Oxford on the road, and then Coventry, Bristol City, Preston and QPR. So points are to be had. I'm not saying we're going to win all of those. That'd be fantastic if we did, but definitely points to be had. Meanwhile, Portsmouth coming into this on the back of a 1-0 loss to Sunderland. Their away form is not the greatest. They've gone back-to-back games without scoring a goal, and they've lost 3 on the spin, 4 on the spin on the bloody road, and we'll look at that in a minute. Of course, they're taking on Wycombe before this match. Portsmouth then, of course, after this game, they'll take on Middlesbrough. Then they will take on Stoke, back-to-back home games for them. West Brom then, of course, Millwall in, again, tricky passage for Portsmouth at this time. Let's take a look at the form then. Here it is under the microscope. It's grim for Rovers. We haven't won in the last 3 at home, but it's also pretty grim for Portsmouth. They only scored 1 goal in the last 4 on the road. So hoping amongst all anythings that we can get something from this match, if not a win. What can we expect from the game then? Well, shall we? Here we go. Rovers' strengths coming down the wings, aerial duels, protecting the lead and stealing the ball from the opposition. Now, weaknesses though are avoiding fouling in dangerous areas. As for our weaknesses or style of play is playing in our own half, consistent first 11 and play quite aggressive. As for Pompey, scoring chances, creating chances through individual skill and aerial duels. Their weaknesses though, long shots, defending long shots, protecting the lead, defending set pieces and keeping possession of the ball. They also have struggle against defending counter-attacks. Their style of play is long balls, crosses often, controlling the game in the opposition half. They come down the left-hand side, take a lot of long shots, play out wide. They have a consistent first 11 and they also can be quite aggressive. Forecast says Rovers will steal the ball from the opposition often. Portsmouth will control the game in the opposition half, but there will be a high number of cards. Moving forward, this is the table as it is right now and as it will be, no matter what goes on in the FA Cup. This ain't going to change, guys. But Rovers could mathematically go up to high as 5th with this victory, which will be monumental mental-wise. As for Portsmouth, for the win for them, they could go as high as 20th. And of course, put the pressure on the likes of Stoke, Derby, Oxford, maybe even Coventry as well. They do have a game in hand, remember. Of course, our journeys so far this season look like this. We are green. We've had a bit of a slump of late, but we need to get that back into the upward trajectory. As for Portsmouth, they're on a bit of an upward trajectory. We might be slow. They, of course, were bottom for a good bit, but now find themselves in good shape. And I do honestly think Portsmouth will be A-OK this season. I just hope that they have a shitter this week against Rovers because we are desperate for a win. Meanwhile, elsewhere this week is a bit of a catch-up week. A couple of other games coming at you on Tuesday. Plymouth up against Oxford. Again, both sides could be desperate for points. Meanwhile, Cardiff also looking for points as well. Watford trying to get themselves back into playoff contention. So a busy week, or important midweek catch-up games to see what will go on in the table. So, also before we get going, a quick look at the table then for stats and whatnot. Borussia Signs has been banned for 6 games. How big a loss is that going to be for Norwich? Josh Major in second spot, Joe Perreault up there alongside him in bronze. The only name of Rovers liking is here. Mac DeGay with 6 assists. We have Callum Lang up there with 9 goals this season. What Rovers would do for a striker in that form right now would be absolutely bonkers. But it all boils down to this, folks. What is my prediction for this game? Of course, you're not going to find it anywhere. It's not going to be a no prediction video, no nothing. It's going to be right here for your leisure. And what do I think? Well, it's one of them. It's one of them. Of course, you know, we are playing Portsmouth at a good time, I feel, for their situation with their form. However, Rovers' ingredients, the personnel that we have at our disposal is pretty piss poor. Unless something miraculous happens on this weekend, into the early stages of the week, of course, maybe we can get some faces in to the squad at the very least to maybe at least give the squad a bit of a thickness to it, because right now, it's weak. We're weak. Don't know where the goals are going to come from. That bite in midfield is gone. Tronstad is playing, out of his skin in the absence of Lewis Travis. There is a massive void in that centre of the park. So it is concerning as to this. But I just think we will get over the line here. I'm going to go bold on this one. I was going to go with a 1-0, but I'm going to go 2-0, maybe a penalty or something like that. Maybe a breakaway goal as Portsmouth try to get back into it. But I'm going with a 2-0 win. Unfortunately, I will not be doing the watch along. Oh no. But there will be a watch along. It won't be me though. It'll be Pete. Pete makes his debut or return, should I say, in 2025. So hopefully he gets off to a flyer. I'll be back in the hot seat for the next one, which will be Oxford on the weekend. But that's it, guys. Subscribe, smash the like, catch you later. But until then, guys and girls, we are done.